Good morning, everybody, and this is your Dow Jones day trade setup for today. And I think yesterday was a prime example of why I hate shorting this market. Anyway, we got going to the downside and then immediately swung around. So if you sort of have a look at where we moved sort of 1.5 points to the downside and then promptly moved another 2%, so 1.5% to the downside and then 2% to the upside. So a 3.5% move in a day. That's not too shabby. But anyway, at the moment we are above a level which for me is a critical line in the sand. That's 34,490 area, and hovering just above 34,500 right now at 34,546. That is another critical area. So just look to the left and you'll see what I mean. There is a lot of support and resistance in amongst this zone. For me, obviously, ultimately, we need to get above this zone here, which is 35,082. 3,500 is obviously the one that we're looking for a clear break, and that's going to open it us for a pretty big double bottom. And you could actually write it out to a range break as well. So that's kind of the view that I've got overall at the moment. We are obviously in a downtrend if you look at the moving averages. Moving averages are pointing down. We kind of, let's rather not say downtrend, but we're in a sideways trend that is sideways to down. Okay. But the problem is that the volatility is so extreme that as a day trader, you can make your targets basically within a couple of minutes right now. So let's just get to the 3 hour. The one thing that did concern me early in the week was this little pattern here. So yes, it was a range bar and then there was a pin bar, but there was no follow through on the pin bar, but there was follow through the third time. And typically when that kind of indecision happens, then you expect it to fall down. And to be quite honest, I was expecting it to fall sort of a little bit more, at least come and test down at 33,500 here. That's kind of the level I gave you yesterday. So it was between these two levels, 34,500 and 33,500. That was the structure that we're looking at. But if you look at the 3 hour moving average, is starting to point to upside. Oscillators are not helping us out at the moment, but it doesn't really matter right now. All that matters for me right now is the clearing of this 155 EMA. If we can clear it and we can stay above it on the 3 hour, that's good enough for me. That means that the trend is reversing, and the trend that I'm referring to is this chaotic move slide, should we say, rather than move, this gentle slide to the downside. Once that is cleared and we've got support here, that validates this double bottom for me. And that double bottom, let's get to that on the hour because that's got a fairly juicy upside target as well. So this is the structure here. And let me just do it there. So it's from there to there. See, that's the first leg of the double bottom. That's the second leg, and we're up. So again, oscillators not helping us out at the moment. So oscillators indicating we should be looking for structure, and I would prefer that anyway. So 3,500 is the target that I'd be looking at just based on this measured move. Obviously it's a little bit higher than that, but 3,500 is a round number, so that is the area I'm looking for. So right, let's just leave all those levels in. Let's get this one here. What is the nearest and most logical pullback that we would like to see? And it would be for me 34,263. So that is the first area that I would really be looking for. So if it comes down into this area, definitely looking for an opportunity to buy into this smallish position because these moves are violent at the moment. Stop below the low of yesterday, and I am targeting 3,500. That is pretty much the structure that I've got at the moment. The other thing that you can do is just come down to the 15, and I think you need to be on the 15 for a lot of these moves because this bit of structure here at 34,489 could potentially also play a role. And then there is another little one a little bit further down, which is down here, and that is at 34,351. Okay, so those are the areas that you should be paying attention to. Now, I just want to switch to the daily quickly because there is something very important on the daily, and you can see We were down, up, and then it looked like we were forming a down yesterday. Bounced off the 155 EMA again. Look at how that held support on the daily. I mean, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, which held the support on the 155 EMA. But then we've ended up with a close pretty much on the high of the previous day, and we've got a bit of a gap up at the moment. So that is 2 green days in a row. So 3 green days in a row. Those of you that read a lot of text will know that they call those sort of the 3, what do they call them, the 3 ladies or 3 soldiers, which is always an indication, a bullish signal. And that is on the daily. So yeah, I think for me, we've got one more big push up before we start maybe looking at a bit of a pullback. But I think this is the sum of the pullback right now. I think the bulls are rapidly going to get back into control, and the bears that are holding are going to be squeezed out. So that's kind of my view at the moment. But anyway, so waiting for the pullback. Pullbacks are either at 34,489. I would prefer something deeper down to 34,350, or ultimately 34,263. That's kind of the pullback that I would like to see. And then I'd looking for a zigzag move to the upside. So move down and then up to 3,500. Hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you bright and breezy tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.